So throughout the semester, our country road student was Sam Shea, and the peer mentor group consisted of Brianna Baylog, Emily Boyd, Chandler McCormack, and Jolie Walton. So this slide, we just wanted to give you guys an overview of who Sam is as a whole and how things went. His diagnosis is autism spectrum disorder, and overall, he's pretty independent in everyday life overall. He is especially independent with wayfinding in familiar places, self-care, and leisure. However, we did notice during our time with him that he generally requires extra cueing during laundry, cooking, and cleaning tasks for thoroughness and to avoid rushing throughout the task. His particular interests for leisure include all types of sports, but especially WVU sports, as well as the Minnesota Vikings and Washington Capitals. Sam is very good at making friends and being a leader to other students within the country road program. He is excited to be graduating from the program in the spring as well. On this slide, we just wanted to give a brief overview of our experiences with Sam as a whole throughout the semester. Overall, he was pretty receptive to everything we addressed, and he was always motivated to learn from us in order to become more independent. He always used us as peer mentors appropriately, and he had a good understanding of our relationship together. He never moved past any boundaries or anything like that within our relationship. For our part, it was always a great opportunity for us to figure out ways to assist him, even when he didn't want the help. And this semester allowed us to become more comfortable with the diagnosis of autism and working with patients like this and understanding their symptoms of it a little bit more. So overall, it was a great learning experience for both us and for Sam.
One of the activities that we did with Sam was cooking. So we cooked tacos with him, and it went pretty well for the most part. He was told to turn on the hot plate, brown the meat, add the taco seasoning, and make the tacos with whatever toppings he wanted to add. He was able to follow directions very well and completed the task with minimal to moderate cueing. Cueing was only required for Sam to wash his hands, slow down while stirring the meat, and not to pick up dropped meat from off the floor to use back in the pan. There was one safety incident where Sam wanted to touch the hot plate, but after we explained to him that hot plate heats up pretty quickly and it would burn him if he put his hand on it, he was very receptive to that and used proper safety precautions throughout the rest of the cooking activity. The next activity we did was dishwashing and meal cleanup. So we had to do that obviously after making the tacos. His cleanup tasks consisted of him washing the dishes, sweeping the floor, and wiping down the countertops. He required cueing to originally initiate the task, but once cued, he washed all the dishes with pretty good effectiveness. We had to help him clean up the spatula because some of the meat got stuck inside the little openings, but other than that, he did very well. As for cleaning up the floor and countertops, he was able to get all the areas with minimal cueing from us. We occasionally had to cue him to dirty spots he missed, but that was really the only thing.
So something else we did with Sam was attend a meal packing event, which was a volunteer opportunity. At the start, Sam appeared to be a little bit overwhelmed by the crowd as he started to appear to be a little bit impatient. He seemed to become less anxious with a little bit of encouragement that we would get started with the event soon. Each of us were given a role at this event, and we had to stay consistent with this role for nearly 2 hours. Sam was assigned to fill the meal bags with seasoning packets, and overall, he did great at the job for the complete 2 hours and required only a little bit of verbal cues to remain on task. And as you probably could have guessed, he was checking his phone for college football scores.
For our meeting this day, we had Sam use the PRT independently to get from his class to the health sciences cafeteria. He did a good job of making his way there and texting to ask questions for where we were sitting. To address money management, we held a discussion on ways to pay for things like going to the store or paying for a dinner at a restaurant. We talked about the importance of keeping our banking information private and that our financial business is not something we have to share with our friends. Sam demonstrated a very good understanding of this and told us how he only shares information about his money with his parents. To address his level of ability using cash, we did some practice scenarios of exchanging cash and how to make change. Sam did a good job with this and knew to use his calculator on his phone if he was not able to do the math independently. So we know how much Sam loves WVU football, so we thought he would enjoy going to the rec with us and passing football. On this date, we all went to the rec center with Sam. We wanted to address personal hygiene, so we had the idea to go to the rec and do exercise and then talk about the self-care we should perform after we exercise. Sam talked us through a routine he thought would be appropriate for exercise, and we confirmed with him that he was correct. Sam does a good job of knowing what to do to perform the ADL routine, but requires some verbal cueing to physically perform the task. So we just talked through some different ways to improve it and make sure that we're carrying out the tasks. Sam has talked with us about how next year it's a possibility that he could be living in an apartment on his own. So we thought addressing home maintenance would be beneficial to him. We brought some basic cleaning supplies to dust, sweep, clean windows in his bathroom. We never really had much concerns about Sam's room because every time we went in, it was pretty organized and just had some clutter or empty drink bottles and snacks that you would kind of expect from a typical college boy to have in his room. But Sam was very receptive to our help on using the cleaning supplies and how, like, the appropriate times to clean. And he was very motivated to be independent in doing this.
During this outing, we attended lunch with Sam at the Towers Dining Hall. Sam frequently eats at the dining hall, so he was familiar with the process on how to obtain his food and drinks, as well as paying for it, so that went very smoothly. When we approached him as he was getting his utensils, he got scared and spilled his drink on the floor this day. It was clear to us that he was flustered at this point and he could not decide what actions to take, so he just left it in the floor and went to sit down at our table. We followed him over and walked through the proper steps to take if that situation would happen again. He responded very well to the cues and ensured he would fix the mistakes in the future if it were happen again. During this process, he was able to communicate with the dining hall staff properly and obtain paper towels and a mop to clean up the spill. And he followed every cue that we gave to fix it that day specifically as well.
I met up with Sam at WVU games on several occasions throughout the season. I didn't do this because I felt like Sam was like had any safety concerns or anything. I just did this because I love seeing him in this atmosphere, which was cheering on the Mountaineers with his friends, which is one of his favorite things. Each time I met up with Sam, he managed to get to the front row of the student section. He once told me he was at the gate waiting for it to open about an hour and a half before each game started to make sure this happened. Sam always wore appropriate clothing based on the weather. He also demonstrated great time management and communication skills throughout the season.
During this visit with Sam, we tried to do his laundry with him to better understand his level of independence in this area. Overall, the experience went well. Sam was able to identify all of his dirty laundry on the floor and gather in the basket with probably min to moderate cues. Sam then properly led us to the laundry room in his dorm and began putting his clothes in the washer independently. He completed the rest of the laundry task with ease. Overall, if Sam was able to keep his dirty versus clean laundry a little bit more organized, I feel that he would be completely independent with this task in the future.
In preparation for Sam's Friendsgiving for school, we took him to Kroger to get the items he needed to bring. Sam reached out to us to let us know that he needed to get sweet bell peppers and ranch before Friday. I was glad to see him reach out to us with that information, as it showed that he keeps up with his emails and requirements for school quite well. When we first arrived, we wanted to see how Sam navigated Kroger himself to find the items he needed. Once we realized he was having some difficulty, we showed him how to use the aisle signs to push him in the right direction. With use of the signs and minimal verbal cueing, Sam was able to locate the sweet bell peppers and ranch. At checkout, Sam sat his items on the counter, waited patiently in line, and checked out without requiring any assistance from any of our group members. Sam demonstrated good communication skills with the cashier and completed the entire task with very little help from our group.